Now, as I said, there are different types of cosmological argument. The Kalam cosmological argument is one type, and I've even indicated that there are various ways of setting that up. There's no such thing as the Kalam argument or the cosmological argument. These are whole families of arguments. And that's important to know because you could think that one particular version of this kind of argument fails, but that other ones succeed, for example. Now, when we're talking about the first cause argument, many people would think in terms of first in time, temporally speaking, that we're using this kind of kalam, there was a first event, or a beginning to the universe kind of argument. But it can also be used to refer to first in the kind of priority of existence or being, as it were. Things existing could be arranged in terms of how fundamental they are to reality. And a kind of one thing depending on another thing, not in time, but here and now, in the way, for example, in which the current positioning of this cup above the floor depends upon my hand holding it there now. It's not that my hand is the previous cause in time of the cup being there. It's the present cause of the cup still being here just now. So that the hand being there is a more fundamental cause in the sort of chain of causation of the cup being there, or of the water being in the cup, than of the cup being there. The water wouldn't be here if the cup dropped. The cup wouldn't be here if the hand let go of it, you see. So in that kind of sense, you can talk about things that exist either exist in dependence or contingent upon something else outside of themselves or not. And that's, again, not in terms of prior causation, but kind of here and now causation, as it were. So if you have something that exists now, but it depends for existence upon something else now, does that chain of depending upon something outside of yourself, can that go on to infinity, as it were, now? Or must it have a sort of first term in the series of causation, which would be something that exists now but doesn't depend for its existence here and now on anything outside of itself? It would exist independently or necessarily rather than contingently. And that's a whole different sort of order of cosmological argument, because that's talking about the way in which things exist here and now, quite apart from questions of have things existed forever, sort of, has there infinitely in the past, or is there a finite past? These are two completely separate kinds of question that deserve separate kinds of answers.